Have you ever heard a sound from the deep ocean so powerful, so mysterious, that it left scientists baffled for years? A sound that echoed across thousands of kilometers of water, louder than any known animal? Today, we're diving deep into one of the ocean's greatest modern mysteries, the bloop, and we'll also explore another strange signal from the abyss, known as Julia. Let's travel back to the summer of 1997. The Cold War might have been over, but its listening technology was still active. The U.S. National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA, was using a sophisticated underwater microphone array, originally designed to detect enemy submarines, to listen to the sounds of the deep ocean. On one fateful day, their hydrophones picked up something extraordinary. It was an ultra-low frequency sound, rising rapidly and then fading away over about a minute. It was incredibly loud. To give you some perspective, the loudest sound ever recorded from an animal comes from the blue whale, which can reach about 188 decibels. This sound, the bloop, was significantly louder. It was so powerful that it was detected by sensors more than 5,000 kilometers apart, stretching across the vast Pacific Ocean. The location of the sound was traced to a remote point in the South Pacific, west of the southern tip of South America. This is one of the most isolated parts of our planet, far from any major shipping lanes or known seismic activity. The profile of the sound didn't match earthquakes, volcanoes, or man-made noises like submarine engines or bomb tests. It was unique. The most intriguing part was its acoustic signature. It had the kind of variation in frequency and volume that you typically associate with an animal call, just on a scale that was completely off the charts. Scientists at NOAA were stumped. They publicly stated that the sound's origin was a mystery, but its profile suggested it could be from a living creature. This is where the public's imagination went wild. It would have to be a creature far larger than the blue whale, the biggest animal known to have ever existed. The idea of a gigantic, undiscovered leviathan lurking in the crushing darkness of the deep sea was born. Speculation ran rampant. Was it a giant squid of unprecedented size? A prehistoric marine reptile, like a plesiosaur that somehow survived extinction? The idea was thrilling and terrifying. H.P. Lovecraft fans were quick to point out that the coordinates of the bloop were eerily close to the location of Rai, the fictional sunken city where the monstrous Cthulhu lies dreaming. The Internet, then in its relative infancy, latched onto this theory. The bloop became legendary, a real-world monster mystery. For years, the official explanation remained unidentified. Every documentary about ocean mysteries, every late-night forum discussion, would inevitably bring up the bloop as the ultimate evidence that we know almost nothing about what lives in the deep. It was the perfect mystery, a strange sound, a remote location, and the tantalizing possibility of a real-life sea monster. But science doesn't like to leave a mystery unsolved. As technology improved and our understanding of the planet grew, scientists kept digging. They continued to monitor the sounds of the deep, especially in the Antarctic region, a hotbed of strange underwater noises. The big breakthrough came in the years following the initial discovery. Researchers began to notice a similarity between the bloop and another type of sound, the sound of icebergs calving and cracking. Specifically, they were looking at icequakes. An icequake is a seismic event that happens when a massive glacier cracks, or when a giant iceberg breaks off from an ice shelf and scrapes against the seafloor. In 2005, NOAA began a new acoustic survey mission in Antarctica. They deployed hydrophones near the Bransfield Strait and Drake Passage, areas where glaciers were actively moving and breaking apart. Over the next few years, they recorded numerous sounds that were strikingly similar to the bloop. They had the same low-frequency profile, the same duration, and the same incredible volume. The final piece of the puzzle fell into place. By comparing the acoustic signature of these known icequakes with the original 1997 bloop recording, the match was undeniable. The sound that had sparked a global monster hunt was almost certainly the sound of a massive iceberg cracking and breaking away from an Antarctic glacier. The location also made sense. While the sound was detected far out in the Pacific, its point of origin could be traced back towards the Antarctic coast. Sound travels incredibly efficiently through water, and the specific channel it traveled through, the deep sound channel, can carry low-frequency sounds across entire oceans. So the monster was ice. It's a less romantic explanation, for sure, but no less awe-inspiring. Imagine a piece of ice the size of a small country breaking apart. The sheer force and energy released in that moment is what created the bloop. It's a powerful reminder of the immense natural forces shaping our planet, forces that are often hidden beneath the waves. While the bloop's mystery is largely considered solved, it's not the only strange sound to have come from the depths. Let's talk about another one, Julia. On March 1st, 1999, just 2 years after the bloop was recorded, NOAA's hydrophone array picked up another bizarre sound. This one lasted for about 15 seconds and was also incredibly loud, enough to be heard across the entire equatorial Pacific Ocean sensor array. The team at NOAA nicknamed it Julia. When they sped up the recording, it sounded like a strange, mournful cry or a whooping sound. Like the bloop, its origin was initially a complete mystery. It didn't sound like any known man-made object or geological event. And once again, the speculation began. Was this another giant, unknown creature calling out from the abyss? The location of Julia was pinpointed to an area between the Bransfield Strait and Cape Adare, right in Antarctica. See a pattern here? Given the experience with the bloop, scientists were immediately suspicious that ice was the culprit. Just like with the bloop, the most likely explanation for Julia is a large iceberg running aground. When a colossal iceberg, pushed by currents, scrapes along the seabed, it can produce a variety of bizarre and powerful sounds. The friction, the grinding, and the fracturing of the ice create complex acoustic signals that can sound eerily organic. The sound profile of Julia fits this scenario perfectly. It's a short, intense burst of noise, consistent with a major impact or grinding event. While NOAA hasn't made a definitive final statement with the same certainty as they did for the bloop, the scientific consensus is that Julia was almost certainly the sound of ice. It's another testament to the dynamic and noisy environment of the polar regions. So, does this mean there are no mysteries left in the ocean? Absolutely not. For every bloop in Julia that we solve, there are other sounds like the whistle, slow down, or bloop's weird cousin upsweep that are still not fully understood. Upsweep, for example, is a long train of upsweeping sounds that has been detected regularly since 1991. It appears to be seasonal, peaking in the spring and autumn, but its source remains unknown. It doesn't seem to be ice, and it doesn't seem to be biological. What these sounds teach us is that the deep ocean is far from silent. It's a world filled with the groans of the Earth's crust, the shattering of continent-sized ice sheets, and yes, the calls of animals, many of which we have yet to discover. Even though the bloop wasn't a monster, the story captured our collective imagination for a reason. It tapped into that ancient human fascination with the unknown, the idea that our maps still have blank spaces labeled, "Here be dragons," and in a way, they do. We've explored more of the surface of Mars than we have our own ocean floor. Who knows what discoveries are still waiting for us in the crushing dark, miles below the surface. The age of exploration is far from over. It's just moved into the deep. Thanks for diving into this mystery with me. If you enjoyed this journey into the abyss, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the fascinating and unexplained. Let me know in the comments what mystery you'd like me to explore next. See you in the next video.